Hello and welcome to Pisgah Health Today. My name is Angela Owen and it's my privilege to host this program brought to you by the Pisgah Health Foundation. The Pisgah Health Foundation is a public 501c3 charity founded in 2019 by a board of 7 caring individuals committed to improving the health, wellness, and lives of Western North Carolina residents. Our special guest today is Molly Nikolai. Welcome to our program today, Molly. We are so glad to have you with us.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Molly comes as the Local Food Campaign Program Director at ASAP, and she has been with the organization for 15 years. She started with ASAP in the Growing Minds Farm to School program. Before all of that, she and her husband managed a farm in Yancey County, and they have 3 rambunctious growing boys. And so you have a full life, Molly, and we are certainly grateful for you taking time to be on our program today and telling us a little bit about what you and your organization do. So first of all, what is ASAP?
Yes, well, again, thanks for having us and including us in this feature. So ASAP is the Appalachian Sustainable Agriculture Project, and we are a regional nonprofit based out of Asheville, but serving Western North Carolina. Our mission is to help local farms thrive, link farmers to markets and supporters, and to build healthy communities through connections to local food. It's kind of the main overarching piece of our mission. Within that, we have a few separate programs. You mentioned the Growing Minds program, which is our farm to school program. So that is one of our 3 main program areas at ASAP. I'm the program director of the local food campaign. So a lot of our work is focused around driving demand for local product, helping folks find where they can connect with farms in their communities, but also building capacity of farmers to serve those markets and to connect with places to sell their product. And then, of course, with all local food systems work, it's really about making connections and building relationships. So some of that is direct grower-buyer connections, introducing farmers to places they can sell their product. And some of that is community connections on how do we better engage our communities at farmers markets or on the farm, and again, building those connections across food and farms.
It's an incredible service. You know, farming, as you well know, is no small task, and to have someone like you come alongside and help with the connections. You've used that word multiple times here because those connections are so important and vital for both the farmer and for those of us who are blessed to be on the other end of that and being able to serve it off of the table. Well, Molly, how does the grant that you receive from Pisgah Health Foundation specifically help you as you're working so diligently to help in ASAP?
Yes, and I think, one of the things part of our mission is helping communities and people connect to food and farms, and thinking about social determinants of health and what are those key pieces for making sure that people have access to fresh, healthy food in our community is also building those connections and relationships there. So it is not only about giving people that food, but also those connections and relationships, making sure people are immersed in healthy food environments. So I think a lot of our work that is supported through the Pisgah Health Foundation is about how do we better engage people with where their food comes from, but also those healthy food environments. So with our farm to preschool programming, that starts at a very young age, those tastes and smells and sights and sounds of farms. It's educating kids and bringing those positive experiences with fresh local food, but also families and teachers, and making sure there's that classroom and cafeteria and community connections. Of course, with farmers markets are a really important direct market for farms in our region to be able to sell directly to their community. So this project has also been really focused around how do we better engage the community with the farmers markets. And so those are we have a network of small farmers markets all throughout the mountains, and really focusing in on how can we make sure those are welcoming environments for everyone. The Double SNAP program, especially this year with COVID, has been a very critical tool, not only for access and increasing those food dollars people have to spend this year, but also making sure that those farmers are having an outlet for their product as well. So one of the really significant impacts that has been supported through the Pisgah Health Foundation has been the ability to expand that double SNAP program. And I should explain what that is folks that use SNAP or EBT, used to be called food stamps, can now use those benefits at area farmers markets. So they can go and swipe their EBT card and be able to double those dollars now at 8 farmers markets in the region. So that they have then double the amount they can spend on those fresh local foods that are right there grown in their community.
We actually featured one of those farmers markets on here, and they highlighted that program as being something that they've been able to really build upon this year. And as you're talking, Molly, I just picture like these young ones who are learning about food and appreciating it, and they're befriending the farmer. That's what goes through my mind, is that they're learning to appreciate the farmer that works so hard to bring them those fresh foods along the way. So just have so many great...
And we have so many, I think it's often adults that take more convincing about kids eating fresh foods, that it's often us parents or teachers that say, oh, kids won't eat that. But we've done these fabulous taste tests in the classroom, again, starting with very young children, introducing them to local foods that are growing, available seasonally in their own communities. And it's been really delightful to see them try and experiment with new foods, and then also have their families have the opportunity then to make those connections. And maybe it's going and then using their SNAP benefits at the farmers market to buy from that farm that has products that they tasted for the first time in their preschool classroom. So much, again, of that work is about building those connections across community. And so we're able to do that across our programs, but also with our community partners. You had mentioned some of the farmers markets that are supported with the Pisgah Health Foundation, and they are just such critical outlets and making sure that we're cross-promoting and really directing to folks to how they can surround themselves with those healthy food environments.
That's wonderfully said. Molly, what else is important for our viewers to know about the ASAP program, and how can they get involved? How can they support, come alongside what you and the organization are doing?
Well, I think one of the hardest things we do organizationally is try to explain all of the different layers of work that we do. So I think one thing I would encourage folks to do is to visit our website, asapconnections.org, and they can really learn more about the programs, whether that be farmer assistance or this food relief work that we've been doing through COVID, or our farm to school program. We also have a local food research center. So really trying to work on multiple layers of the food system simultaneously. So I think that's one thing, is trying to learn more and connect. Of course, we have volunteer opportunities, and donations are a real critical piece of our work. But I think, you know, a big piece of our mission is making those connections. So we encourage everyone to reach out and try to find those farmers that they're in their community that they can connect with, whether it's at a farmer's market, or purchasing a CSA for a first time, or going out and visiting a farm. There's so many different ways that we can connect and support the farms in our community, and at the same time be promoting the wellness of our individual families and our community. So one of the real critical resources that all of our programs draw on is our local food guide. So we have a network of about 800 farmers across Western North Carolina that we work with on a variety of different levels. And they range from, you know, really small scale farms that are just doing honey and have some hives, all the way up through large scale farms that are selling wholesale produce up and down the eastern seaboard. So there's somebody in there, there's some place in there for everyone that we, you know, there's lots of opportunities to connect and find local food. So we have an online searchable database that's called appalachiangrown.org. and that is our online local food guide that you can search by product, or if you're in Transylvania County, you can search by the county, so location, product, farm name, to really connect again with what's going on in your community.
So many ways to get involved, to learn, to make those connections along the way. And Molly, on behalf of the Board of Directors at Pisgah Health Foundation, I would just want to say thank you to you and to the rest of the organization for the work that you're doing so diligently to help us to understand and connect those local farmers and understand and appreciate the local farm fresh food that you're able to bring to the table of so many. And so thank you so much for what you're doing, and thank you for being a part of Pisgah Health today.
Thanks so much for having us.
Well, it's been a pleasure. We also want to thank Wildflower Media for their creative and technical support in bringing these programs to our viewers, as well as the Board of Directors and staff at Pisgah Health Foundation and the Physicians Roundtable. Until we see you on the next Pisgah Health Today, stay well and be well.